Upon further review, the ruling on the field stands. This is the greatest sports podcast, First and Goat.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another special episode. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say, but our super duper bowl special. Uh, a game that we've been waiting for like 2 weeks, and we're probably gonna spend the next 2 hours talking about it. Maybe not, but we'll probably cram in an hour less. But yeah, then let's kick it off and let's get the show rolling.
Super Bowl is not a big topic today.
God damn it!
Just want to get this out of the way because I was expecting more, but I had it in my list that we were gonna cover the NBA. The trade deadline was today. Any surprises with the moves? Non-moves?
Sure.
Any surprises? No, I mean I thought you had to see a little bit more excitement around this time, but also leading up to it, you start getting buzz and there's rumors and stuff like that. But there's none of that happened going into the trade deadline, and sure enough, kind of what I expected. Um, Bulls didn't make any moves.
Expected the Bulls not to make any moves and the Lakers not to make any moves.
I didn't expect. I think I don't know what the Bulls could have done. The only thing I thought it was just dumping Levine, but him getting hurt didn't help the cause. So once that happened, like I don't know what other possible would. I don't know. I just didn't think there was anything out there to improve significantly. But yeah, and then the Lakers, the same thing. Like I didn't pay too much. I think the same thing with them. Like I don't know what was out there available that could have made it that much better. But you guys,
Luis, any surprises?
Just gonna feel like I'm going to reiterate what Sal just said. But I did like some of the moves. I don't think anything was earth shattering. Like at first I saw that the 76ers had acquired Buddy Hield from the Pacers. So I was like, oh, like cool. Like they're trying to, even though Embiid's hurt and this and that, but then they traded away Pat Beverly, and Pat Beverly's not like this big superstar, but I think it's just one of those pesky veterans that I don't, I don't think he'll hurt you in the playoffs. But so that was a little confusing to me, and then the Bucks picked him up, so he's going to another legitimate contender. So that was a little confusing to me. I don't know if he's just that expandable. Like I know that expendable, I should say, because I know the Lakers kind of every team's moved up from him, but teams always seem to like the idea of him being on their squad for a playoff run. So I was confused on the 76ers like acquiring a nice piece, but then letting a veteran piece go. But anyway, the I thought the Oklahoma City Thunder they picked up Gordon Hay.
Has he been playing?
Yeah, he's been playing the last 2 years. He's like in his mid-30s, so I think he's just like in that team, he's like a veteran. So I think they did need something like that, like some sort of veteran guy. And but you guys are wearing Bulls gear, and I think that was the biggest disappointment for me. Like kind of like how Sal said, like what can they really do? Levine got hurt, but I mean, these guys are not gonna contend, this year again. They might squeak into the playoffs, but would have been horrible if they would have just blown it up, like um with DeMar and the damn center and just something. They haven't made a trade in a long time. I'm sure you guys saw that everywhere where I think it's been a couple of years since they've even made a trade at the trade deadline, and they haven't done anything either in the playoffs. So I really was hoping that the Bulls would surprise us, and like even if they just acquired picks, you know what I mean? That would have been like, hey, at least they're trying to they uh they came to terms that this is not a contending team, so let's rebuild. Maybe sign a decent free agent. But yeah, this core is not. So that was the only thing, man. I really wish the Bulls would have done something besides just staying pat.
And there was some talks about teams wanting Drummond, right? Teams need.
Hmm.
But what about the 76ers?
Uh, and I saw for Caruso too. A lot of teams like him. So they have some pieces that they could have moved around. But then what would have they gotten back for them? So maybe that's why they didn't make a move, maybe, you know,
Yeah, I mean that there could have been some that they could have moved, like you said, for picks, but they could have blown it up, right? And then
mhm,
gotten with DeRozan, Patrick Williams, who's turning out to not be very good,
yeah,
Caruso, Drummond, Vujacic. I feel like they think because they are playing better, and
yeah,
Kobe White is probably in the discussion for most improved player.
sure,
He had another good game today. I feel like maybe they think if Levine comes back healthy, they can make a decent push in the
yeah,
East. But you never know; players could get hurt. And then if Lonzo Ball comes, I don't know. I just feel like maybe they think that they do have a solid team and that they are playing better. But yeah, so that was surprise to me too. The Bulls didn't make any moves. The Raptors moves were a little weird to me. So they got rid of
mhm,
Dennis Schroeder for Spencer Dinwiddie, but they plan to release
yeah,
Spencer. Why didn't they trade Bruce Brown? Like that was the confusing part of me. If they're kind of like blowing it up, why didn't they trade Bruce Brown? There
yeah,
was interest in him. Uh, Dinwiddie, if he clears waivers, that's an option for the Bulls, right? While Levine is gone,
yeah,
a little. Yeah, Joe Harris was also traded or something. He's supposed to be released, having a terrible year, but he's only
yeah,
playing 7 minutes. 3-point shooter could be an option for the Lakers or the Bulls or some other team. I know Vanderbilt, is that his name for the Lakers is
yeah,
hurt.
hurt, yeah.
Um, anyway, so
Oh my bad, just two quick questions to you guys. Did you like what the Knicks did? And then I know you guys kind of touched on it a little bit, like what about with the Lakers not making any moves, like how do you guys take that as, obviously being LeBron fans, like is it like they're like just staying pat, like there wasn't anything they could really do, or um, or they think they just have like a team that maybe once they're all healthy that they'll be able to contend.
I like the Knicks move to get Bogdanovich. They're playing
Mhm.
well. I think the Bulls and the Lakers were just kind of caught up in this last week where they're but the Bulls actually for the last couple 2-3 weeks they've been playing better.
Yeah,
But the Lakers went on like a 3-game winning streak, and
yeah,
against teams
contending teams.
they're giving the Nuggets a challenge. So I think they get caught up in the moment and they feel that they could put it together after the second half
Hmm.
of the season. That's what I thought.
I don't know. I think it definitely helped the Knicks, but um, who the yeah, if you knew the Lakers, I mean, I don't know what could maybe they said maybe the Bulls or the Lakers could have done something for Caruso or something,
Yeah,
but uh, maybe fucking draft some draft capital. But nowadays, I mean, if it's not a first round pick or highly, these picks are not worth much. Um, so now I don't know. I don't know. It was just lackluster. I just
yeah.
don't really have
No,
much of an
you're right.
opinion.
I mean, it wasn't just the Lakers and the Bulls. Nobody made like all these guys we're talking about, they're nice pieces, right? But there was no major superstar that was moved to any team. So,
Even the Hawks, right? There was all this talk about Murray and he didn't go
mhm,
anywhere. All these big
mhm.
players that the names came up, but nothing happened. Um, Speaking of decent players, let's do the AP lesson of the week. Listen up. Need
What's
you
up?
guys to take notes or not? I don't care. Um, 2/8/24 Kobe Day. Let's talk about Kobe. So I looked up
Two
some stats.
eight 24. Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah,
I like that.
perfect Kobe Day. Uh, they're gonna do it again on 8/2/24, 8/24/24. Anyway, but today is one of Kobe Day, so I just looked up some stats. Just want to throw this out to you guys. Ready?
Go first.
This is mainly scoring, right? So 81 points, second highest ever. We know to who. He has 60-point games. That's second, only behind Wilt's 32. After that, it's Dame with 5, MJ and Harden with 4. He has 25 50-point games. That's third all time, behind Wilt's 118, MJ's 31, Harden's behind with 23. 122 40-point games, third all time, behind Wilt's 271, MJ's 173, and again, Harden is behind him 101. 431 30-point games. That's fifth, behind MJ's 562, LeBron's 546. Woo, for the taking, 16 games. Wilt 516, Karl Malone 535. Now, if we go to like 20-point games, it's not even close, right? LeBron's got like everybody by I don't know how many hundreds of games. And I know this is a Kobe stat, but Luis, did you know that LeBron has more 50-point games than Curry, Iverson, KD, Bernard King, T-Mac, Carmelo Anthony, Kareem? Did you know that?
Didn't know that.
He has,
50-point games?
yeah, he has more 40-point games.
Oh, 40-point.
Well, more 50,
Oh,
like 50 and above. He's got more than all.
okay.
He has more 40-point games than Kareem. I mean, there's a lot more. I'm mentioning some of the top names.
The top scorers, yeah.
Kareem, KD, Curry, Dame, Shaquille O'Neal. I don't even know why I brought this up. This is a Kobe stat. LeBron is just, I got something from somebody about how great Michael Jordan is because he led the league in scoring. So I figured, scoring stats. You wanted to hear about that. Go back to Kobe. Kobe Day, 2/8/24. Kobe played 20 seasons with one team, most in the NBA.
Mhm.
18 consecutive All-Star game selections. I think LeBron just made him third all time. And he's won the All-Star game MVP 4 times, which ties him for first with the great Bob Pettit. And the award's named after him. That's what I got. I'll be honest, I was looking for more stats, and I'm not trying to talk shit about Kobe because it's Kobe. But it's hard, man. There was some hard shit out there about Kobe. Like they talked about his isolation and how he's got one of the highest isolation rates in history, but some of the least efficient. I don't go in that direction because it's Kobe Day. So
Just tell the truth. No. Go ahead. What else did you find? Who cares? It's not that special of a day.
well, they unveil his
Like
statue
glorifying a rapist. Who cares? I mean, it's
about his the statue.
add that one to the stat. He was one rape victim that we know of.
Allegedly.
But
Allegedly.
no.
Did they
Shoot.
settle
I
that
would
out
use.
of, did they settle that out of court, or was that in court or out of court?
Yes.
Oh, the shady. Yeah.
I think the girl was getting like death threat. The death threat.
Oof. It was like in Denver, right? She was like a masseuse or something.
Kobe.
Yeah.
I don't know what she was, but yeah, I think Kobe fans were like, I don't know if she dropped it or if they settled, but it didn't go to court.
No, they
Yeah.
definitely settled. Yeah,
Shit.
take my money.
Oh
You know what I mean? Fracking. Shut up and take my money. You know.
Let me ask you something about Kobe. You sent us a couple of T-Mac.
Mhm.
Do you agree with T-Mac that Kobe's top 5?
No, I don't. That's how, Instagram, once you see one clip, they'll flood your algorithm with a bunch of other stuff. So I just find it interesting. I think definitely Kobe gets romanticized because, he tragically passed away with his kid. So I think that unfortunately, as terrible as that was, it does glorify, his legend a little bit. I respect, like, I like a lot of things about Kobe. Um, that's one of the things that, like, even compared to LeBron James, I mean, Kobe wasn't an efficient, like, you chuck the ball up as many times as he does with 3, 4 defenders around him, I don't think that was the most efficient, but he had a lot of intangibles like that doesn't translate to the stats. So it's more like I think that's why a lot of players talk him up, this whole competitor thing, and he was kind of an asshole. And I know that stuff doesn't matter in terms of like how good somebody is. But I think a lot of players that resonates with them. I think that's why a lot of people like really like a lot of the players like Allen Iverson and stuff like that, even though he never won a championship. Or wait, did he? No, he did. He never won a championship, right? But they're like when they talk about like one of their favorite players and most inspirational. So I think Kobe's more like an inspirational player to like other players, but compared to like LeBron and Jordan, just I don't think he's
But
um in
I,
the same.
I look back at our rankings. You put him at number 9.
Mhm.
So
Because I don't think he's top 5. I think he's top 10. I know Sal doesn't feel like he is, but I mean, it's hard to ignore and I know we talked about this, but he won with Shaq, he won without Shaq. I know he got Paul and a nice supporting cast, but I mean, he did didn't he beat the Celtics
But he didn't have that
in
great of
the
a season
finals?
either.
I mean, but you take Kobe out of that team, they're not even in they're not in the finals 100%. You know what I mean? That same team's not in, they're not sniffing a title. So I mean, he was the reason that they were there and that they won. So it's just hard to take away a lot of his stuff. I would put him top 10. I wouldn't put him top 5
Yeah, he did get a
personally.
lot of calls. You're right. He did get a lot of calls.
let me follow up with this, Luis, because then you send us another video of T-Mac.
Yeah.
There were 2 of them, right? So
Yeah.
his argument is Kobe Bryant is the closest thing we've ever seen to Michael Jordan. And if
Yeah.
Michael Jordan is the GOAT and he is the closest thing to Michael, then there's no way he's not top.
Top 5. Yeah.
Doesn't that kind of make the argument that if Kobe's not top 5, if he's number 9, then maybe Jordan's not the GOAT? Because to me, that implies that if Michael Jordan played in Kobe's era and Kobe never ruled that era, Duncan was a better player. LeBron took over, soon as like 2004, 2005. Maybe Jordan would have been Kobe. If Kobe is the closest thing to Jordan, if Jordan played in Kobe's era, Jordan might not never have been the best player of his era. Does that make sense? Like the
Well, no,
way
just
that T-Mac
because
is comparing them so much, like
yeah.
they're like one and the same. So
Yeah.
that means that Jordan
So
just played in a different era, and if he had played in the other era, he wouldn't be the GOAT.
yeah, no, that's a great point, and I think you said it perfectly. It's like one and the same, and that's not what he said. He didn't use the word equal. He said closest to, and closest to is relative. He could be closest to by this much, not by that much.
Well,
So I think his point was just like he was trying to justify Kobe being top 5 by saying that everybody says Michael's the GOAT and that he believes that Kobe's the closest to Michael. So if Michael's number 1, how can Kobe not even be? He didn't say number 2. He didn't say number 3. He didn't say number 4. He didn't say number 5. He just said, how can he not be top 5? He never used the word equal. He said closest to. So that's why, no, that statement, like if we add words to it, yeah, it'll make it true. But no, not the way he presented it, at least. I don't think.
okay, closest to, and you are that far off. You're the closest thing to the GOAT, and yet there's 3 people in between.
Yeah,
The
he
gap
never, he
closed.
never, yeah, he never said, where he would place him. He was just saying that it was more ridiculous that people wouldn't consider him top 5. And that was it. That was his argument was like, if he's the closest thing to Jordan, how can he not, regardless of where you put Jordan, how can you not put him top 5, you know?
Now, what do you think?
I was trying to look back at the videos to see what he said, but what do you think about what him being top 5 or
Yeah, the
oh,
whole
that's what
concept that we just laid out. So T-Mac's making cases.
he was just a copycat version of Michael Jordan.
I feel that he's actually bringing he's trying to bring up Kobe. I think he's actually bringing up LeBron. That's what I think the T-Mac is doing. The way I'm, and maybe because I'm biased because I already have my opinion set, but the way I'm reading his statement, and he like the MJ, he's like, oh, you can't compare them different eras, and they all ruled their era. Like again, we said Kobe didn't really rule his era. Duncan's got 5 championships in his era. And he was the best
Yeah,
player of
he
all time.
was never the best player in the league at any time, at any point.
T-Mac also said Michael dominated, Kobe dominated, LeBron dominated individually. Other two dominated because they had the best teams. He makes a point. I don't know why he said it, but I'm saying he makes the argument for LeBron. He says LeBron
I see what
dominated
you're saying.
individually. The other two dominated their era because of their team. That to me, that says LeBron is individually. Isn't that what being the greatest means? Like it's not. We're not talking about the career. We're talking about the player. Anyway, so
I don't know. I just think like I mean, as good as you see the highlights and all that, I just think he's a little bit overrated. Yeah, he put up good numbers, scoring numbers, but come on, his entire career, he was a ball hog. You know what I'm saying? And his team bailed him out in the finals when he won without Shaq. So like, yeah, I get, he, of course, with his talent, they got as far as they did with him. But I mean, at the same time, like they didn't win because of him. I don't know if that makes sense. But like I said, the guy's a ball hog. He was like, they say Jordan was a ball hog, right? But then he kind of, with the triangle offense, Phil Jackson, he knew. I guess when we saw in the '90s, '91, '92, and all that stuff like that. He knew when how to pick and choose battles. He wasn't fucking waving people off in the fourth quarter. Like there was times he made the right pass. Like he made the right decision. And I never saw that with Kobe. You see a couple of highlights of passes here and there, but I don't know. I just think he's overrated. It was a copycat version of Michael Jordan. He made it all by himself. He's the type of guy that gave his own nicknames. Like there's something about a guy that gives himself his own nickname. His brothers me the wrong way. And the guy came back and he gave himself the Black Mamba. He wanted to be called like that's who he was. He was just self-centered and he just wanted people to fucking worship him and and he wasn't that guy to me. He wasn't that guy.
that's true.
He's lucky.
He gave himself that nickname.
Yeah, I think he was the one that he got hurt and he came back. Positive. I'll Google it right now. Nobody said, "Oh, that guy plays like the Black Mamba." That guy came back and said he studied the Black Mamba. He's quick and poisonous and blah blah blah. And he asked, "I'm positive that was the story."
Yeah,
Do you remember it differently?
As you just talked, I Googled it and it says a name he gave himself.
Yeah, that's the type of guy. And so even back then when I saw that, like, that guy just confirms it. He's just a douchebag. It sucks. I'm not saying that there's worse people in this world. I don't know. He did rape somebody allegedly. That's pretty bad, right? But it's just like that's who he is and stuff like that. He just made him by himself. When the team sucked, he was chucking up shots, and when the team was good, he was chucking up shots too. Like he was. We talk about how LeBron makes the right play. Like either how clutch and or he'll pass. And we saw Jordan do the same thing. How many? If it wasn't an open alley oop to Shaq, when it was a no brainer, when did he not play isolation ball? Fucking waved everybody off and fucking made it by himself. And just, I said, when you putting up those shots, of course you're scoring and you fucking look good. But I don't know,
it's tough. Like I wasn't a Kobe fan because he was always beating on San Antonio and most of the time San Antonio had a legit team, and they couldn't stop him. So I don't think it was just all like ball hog. Like he definitely was talented. He was a competitor, and like it's so. But I don't. But he wasn't efficient. I don't think he was the. I don't know. I don't think he made his teammates better. But
here's another one. Like I say, the closest thing to Jordan, right? The way they style of play and all that jazz.
yeah,
I think if you plug him in that both the '90s team in the '90s, I don't think they're as successful as they were with Jordan. Like near, and I'm not saying like, well, of course, right? Because Jordan's a better player, blah blah blah. But I'm just saying like, the closest thing to him, whatever. Like, I don't see it. Like, just because not because not that great of a basketball player. That like scoring wise and the flexibility, but I just don't see him making the right plays. And fucking, it's about me and me. And it's like, that shot when he fucking when he passed out to Paxton, I don't see him making that play. I don't know, not out. If it's not Shaq, that's fucking. I don't God knows how many field percentage or whatever fucking slam it down. If it's not him, like it's just
Man,
if it's not Shaq, it's gonna be him. That's why
when you say that, I just remember when he threw that alley-oop game 7 against the Blazers. The Blazers were up double digits halftime. Fucking Shaw hit a 3-pointer to, cut it down 3 less. And man, and that fucking alley-oop was like such a,
That,
like,
that-
it was just a fucking nail on the coffin, man. Like it was, they
Yeah.
were coming back and, I fucking, anyway, traumatizing shit from back in the day.
you can't blame
sorry
him.
to spoke Kobe days.
You can't, you can't
Did
blame
you see his statue, by the way? Did you guys see that? They unveiled his
Yeah.
statue.
Tell him about that. So I'll tell him about the statue.
Well, I mean, it's not the best looking statue, but at the same time, I know a lot of fans were kind of pissed. How could they do Kobe like that? But I don't know if you saw it, but according to Vanessa, before they unveiled it, he said that was that's a pose or that's what Kobe wanted. So if you don't like it, tough shit. And that's her quote. That's her words.
Yeah.
And then they unveil it, and it's not the best looking, but hey, that's what they wanted. But that's another thing too. Like he's already thinking, like, hey man, I'm gonna get a statue. When I get a statue, I want it to be like, like I don't even think Jordan, that guy could be a little tough, maybe but at the same time, I don't see like, hey, when you guys do that statue after me, I want to be like this, and fucking, what I'm saying, like, I don't even see Jordan doing that shit or anybody like that, like Shaq or any of those huge. This guy, and he's apparently gonna get 2 more. Huh?
LeBron might do that, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe
He'll be on a throne. He'll want to be on a throne of some sort. Hey, I'll finish up with this on Kobe, man. Like I won't be a hypocrite. Like I didn't root for him while he was playing. It bugged me that people compared him to Jordan. It bugged me that he like replicated a lot of Jordan's, uh style, and then he was beating the teams that I wanted to see win, and get through. Um and then he was he convicted rapist, that was like if that was nuts when that happened, and then it just went away. So but I'll admit, I'll finish up by saying I don't think, definitely, Sal, you don't have a soft spot for him, and you don't need to, but I have a soft spot for him, and one is because of the way he passed away. I thought it was fucking tragic, not just him but his kid.
yeah,
And
I don't watch Stefan, but
and then right, but then the other part was I did soften up on him when he left the game, man. I feel like the guy left the game, and everybody. So this has nothing to do with him as a basketball player, but just as a person, he wasn't like the social media guy. He was just like he left the game and he really became like what is that, like just a good dad, right? And just like all about his kid, and then even though he went through that, I know people say, well, of course she's not going to leave him because of all the money, but his wife's, they worked it out, they stayed together. Not a lot of people do that, and I get it, but she could have just left them and gotten money anyway, you know what I mean? It's not like, but so I got a soft spot for him, and other, like, not as a basketball player but as a person. Like I really like seeing him enjoy being like a girl dad, or what is that? What do they call that girl? Is that what they call it? Girl dad or dad girl? Well, something like that. And
girl
then
dad.
and then him kind of sticking it out with his family and stuff. So but that has nothing to do with it. He's not top 5, but I would put him at number 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well said. I agree. After his career, he was more like a social justice guy. Like it was, I respected him more outside of the game than when for the same reasons, right? Like, oh, he's just a fighter. In the celebrations, he tried to copy everything that Jordan did.
Yeah.
It's fucking annoying, but you can't blame him.
it was fucking annoying.
You can't blame him for wanting to play like his idol. And he wasn't as efficient, but he did look like Jordan in some of
He did.
Copycat. Yeah. Like I said, maybe he was doing some good, and maybe he was getting as a better as a person. You grow, like one can only hope after doing some allegedly shit like that, you do become a better person, you know. But that's how you know that he was guilty, because after all that stuff, that's when he started getting all the tattoos and he started, you know, his wife's name and all
For
that
his
stuff.
wife's name on there,
Yeah,
yeah.
you don't do that if you're not guilty, you know. Like you're begging
And
her to stay because
and
she
he
was gonna
bought
take
her like
everything.
a fat ass ring too. I remember it was like this ridiculous ring that he
Yeah.
bought her.
So I don't know what could have happened, you know, what they agreed on. They could have been like, look, if there's something, if I get caught, if something happens, like I'll give you everything. Just don't leave me
Yeah.
right now, ever, or whatever, you know. Like,
Right.
and
Hey,
and
redemption. People make mistakes. That was a big one, but maybe
Mm.
became a better person. Kobe Day, fucking success.
yes. Another fun fact. I'm pretty sure I read this right. You know, he's getting 2 more statues. Why?
Why?
Well, supposedly he's gonna get another one because he had another jersey number 24. So he has to have one with 24,
It's too
and then
much.
he's gonna get another one with him and his daughter. I'm like, what does that have to do with Laker fan? I'm not
Oh,
trying to say that
Jesus.
he's
No,
dead, but
yeah.
come on. I think
No.
it's like he paid these guys off. I just fucking glorified me. Just you know what I'm saying?
And her
Like I don't know.
number was number 2, right? She was a player
Who's
too.
Oh, her number. I don't know what her number
was it?
Jersey number was number 2.
Oh,
That's
so it kind of makes sense today. 2, 8.
Rhea Chamura wears 28
Oh.
for 8, 2 for her and 8 for Kobe. So
Mm.
today is actually like, that's why they unveil.
Interesting. Now I get it. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
So
But-
February, because
We're gonna do one with him and his daughter. Today would have been the perfect day, right?
Yeah.
2
Yeah.
for her, 8 and 24 for him. It just makes sense.
so LeBron gonna get one for a 6 and a 23. What
Oof.
other numbers did LeBron wear?
623.
Let's throw another one for Jordan, a 45, and you wore a 12,
Nah,
right?
no, he wasn't.
Well, once.
Nah, he
Jordan-
wasn't statue worthy at number 45.
I mean, Shaq was more dominant. Will, Magic, but he's gonna get 3 statues. Jesus, it's just like people just forget. You know, they have like short-term memory. Fucking, they tend to forget the whatever. It just
Well, like we said, right? You die young, or you die young as a hero, or you live long enough to become the villain. Whatever the fucking Batman movie
Yeah,
said.
that's it.
yeah, that's exactly what it was. I'm like, yeah.
Mhm.
I said nothing. I mean, I'm not trying to say I'm glad he's dead or anything like that. It's nothing like that, you know. And they said he was just, you know, he seemed like he was becoming a better human being of it, but just, you know, it kind of bugs me when I sometimes see that and then somebody makes the same quotes I say, and then like the fans they make it seem like it's fake news. What are you talking about? This bullshit. That and like I'm like, you know, like I hate when people just want to believe what they want to believe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You put facts, but no, and like they live like I think I don't know if it's always like that or just social media expose it, but people just want to believe what they want to believe, and you fucking put facts in front of them or true events, and like no, bullshit, fucking propaganda, or it's fucking AI, Photoshop. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's just like,
Mhm.
all right, fucking, you're a piece of shit. So you can't argue with those things.
That's the
Sorry, I went off on a tangent right there. Just fucking.
that's the world we live in right now. Not just this,
Mhm.
a lot of things, but this is not a political show yet.
Yet.
Fucking losers.
I was gonna
Not you guys, do this.
Hey, so the last thing I'll say, Sal. A lot of people consider LeBron a villain, and you and I we talked about it. Like, I hated LeBron James when he did that thing to Cleveland, but then I thought he redeemed himself, going back, winning a championship. You know, like being good social justice person. So I think Kobe was on his way, but you still have this hatred against him because of, and it was a big mistake, right? The rape, but you still have this hatred. I just feel like everybody deserves a second chance, and like Luis said it, he was like, I thought he was
I
becoming
don't know.
like a good model, like
Oh, that's what I'm saying. He becomes a better human being. It looks like, I'm not saying hate is a strong word. Definitely didn't like him. That never happened. I don't think I'll still like him. You know, it's just I just knew that was the type of person he was. Him giving the thing that he's self-centered and like, oh, that just confirms he's a piece of shit. You know, it's fucking.
okay, that makes sense. Okay, so even if that hadn't happened, you just you didn't like him.
I wouldn't. I liked him. I like him less because of it. You know, but I mean, I just don't think he was. You know, I thought he was a phony. He was a fraud. He was just like, fucking like he said, like I just couldn't buy it. Him copying Jordan, fucking like celebrating the way he did and trying to talk like him and the fist bumps and like and he was didn't seem genuine and he's I don't know. I like to me he was like more like a narcissist. I just it is. Like, so it's just like I don't like when people when some I don't know what it is, but when people give themselves their own nicknames, it just rubs me the way. Like it's just something about that, like you're it just
That's right, because we gave you El Bookie.
That's right.
no, you say come up with one. So I came up when I thought it was funny because betting and I'm not saying like I'm the bookie because I'm the master, whatever fucking the black mamba because I'm the the fastest the cookies and when they strike I'm poisoned and I'm like bro chill imagine if think about this one. Louis, be honest, all right? Okay, maybe it doesn't rub you the wrong way, right? As much as it rubs me off, right? You think it's kind of douchey?
Oh, the giving himself the
Okay.
own nickname. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's just
Yeah.
say that never happened. But LeBron did that, and he's like, "I'm the Black Mamba." That's it, whatever. Late
Yeah.
Kobe never did. How would that? I mean,
Yeah.
how would that
No.
rub you off?
Yeah. No, I would. How to call it? That is like a LeBron kind of thing. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. I wouldn't like it either.
You would like the guy even more. I mean,
Yeah.
liked him even less. I
Less.
mean,
Yeah. 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 No.
I mean,
Yeah. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that that Kobe had given himself the old nickname.
yeah, he came back. I think he was hurt. One season he came back and they did an interview and then like I studied the Mamba and other. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? You watch a Nat Geo documentary on this fucking thing? I studied the Mamba and like it is patient alerts and the way he just strikes at the right moment and with one strike is venomous and kills his prey. And I want to be that killer. I'm the Black Mamba. I'm like, bro, are you kidding me? Huh?
You watched a
The
lot
what?
of interviews, huh?
No, I watched a lot of basketball. It was probably the NBA inside stuff or whatever, It was probably one of those. But I remember like it was probably like a halftime show, halftime interview, when they cut with. But I'm like, I remember as a kid, I was like, that's kind of douchey. What the fuck? I don't know. Even up to that point, like I just when people give themselves their own nicknames, like, oh, from now on, I want you to call me this. I'm like,
What
what
about
the
Shaq? What about Shaq? Shaq gave himself like 10 nicknames.
10 nicknames.
But
I think it's only different because I think he did it more for fun, talk shit,
It's
whatever.
like tongue in cheek, kind of.
And
kind of
it's
being funny.
like freaking like Jordan didn't say I'm Air Jordan from now, like he just
Yeah.
fucking marketing or whatever came out. Oh shit, hey, yeah, Magic. Oh shit, them motherfuckers, like he's not out there like, hey, call me Magic, Magic Johnson, baby. What's another name? Just any day. Nobody. It just nicknames are just born, fucking not made. But whatever. I just
probably like, hey, call me Kobe Steaks from now on. I don't think nobody like just gotta say that he is like a Black Mamba and he's a killer and all that stuff. Hey Sal, moving on. You wanna
let's go.
quick recap on the NFL awards? I didn't even know they were going on right now, but I know
had no idea.
you're watching.
I knew because had a personal interest in some of the awards, maybe just one.
Okay.
Most of them were surprises. CJ Stroud won, what was it, Rookie of the Year? Teammate Willie Anderson won Defensive Rookie of the Year. Yeah, you got rookie offense. Willie Anderson defense rookie. Who else? Myles Garrett beat TJ Watt. That's the one I remember I told you early in the season where I thought, Garrett won Defensive Player of the Year. I should have put the money on that one. I know he fell off, but TJ Watt had some good numbers, but whatever, they voted. Remember earlier in the year, I thought I had, and I knew that was never going to happen, but at one point, Garrett was carrying that Browns, that team,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what the voters saw, remembered, but
Comeback.
what else?
Do you remember who that was?
Flacco.
Huh?
Joe Flacco, and that's the other one I tell you. People are like, no, the other guy.
Joe Flacco.
I hear people.
Comeback
He
player.
won comeback of the year. Yeah.
Over
So the other one that we're talking about Hamlin, because he nearly died, and I get it, like you almost died, but at the same time, like he was back, but
Undertaker.
You also gotta come.
You gotta put up the numbers.
Yeah, exactly. There's like a comeback version part of it too. You can't just I came
Show
back and I remember getting shit. I'm like, hey, I think Joe Flacco, and I'm mad at myself for not betting, but that's the one I'm gonna bet.
played enough games. I thought maybe Baker Mayfield was gonna win that one.
Fuck that guy.
Oh, that's another one too.
Glad he lost. What did they announce the big one?
The big ones, they all did. So they went from offensive player of the year was McCaffrey, and overwhelming favorite Lamar Jackson took MVP honors.
Let's go.
And
Did you
yeah.
did you bet on that one or the MVP?
No, yeah, it was. Mine was a McCaffrey one at plus 4,000, and I get it. I knew
Oh,
the
that's a
quarterback
good
award,
one.
but I'm still right. I'm still right. I don't want to hear that shit about that coach. No, fucking not one quarterback had an MVP year. Not
Yeah.
one quarterback had
Oh,
an
you're
MVP.
right about that.
And the time that McCaffrey did miss those 2 games,
CJ was a rookie, but he had an MVP year. I read those stats to you guys. The stats
Yeah.
that he had, 2 other people that have had those stats won the MVP.
well,
Yeah.
I
Did
just thought he lost. There's a thing like, and I knew it didn't have a shot, but like, hey, you know what? Like maybe they fucking could think outside the box for the ones. But I said those couple games that McCaffrey was out and fucking 49ers was like a complete mess on offense. So he was kind of carrying that offense, but still, Purdy was still favorite. Compared to he was still like at, I forgot what was it, -4 or 500. I know plus 400 or something like that. Like Purdy showed he wasn't the guy when McCaffrey wasn't there, but he was still leading. He
Yeah.
was one of the top favorites, whatever. But whatever, it is what it is. Like I said, I know it's a quarterback award. I just thought that maybe they thought things different. I mean, for a year, like I said, nothing against Lamar, one hell of a year, but I thought McCaffrey was slightly better. But whatever. I think he had those last 2 weeks to close it out. That probably solidified it against what was it, Dolphins, and what did they beat up on?
49ers.
Was it that last 2 games?
Yeah.
I know they beat up the 49ers, but I thought it was someone else that they. No, because they blew out the 49ers. They did blow it up. It was. But I thought, hold on, let's see.
There was another. It was the Dolphins, the 49ers.
I think they played the 49ers earlier, like not early, but not as late in the season. But I could be wrong.
It was one of their last 3 games of the season.
Yeah, let me see here. Sorry, right now.
And then the other, I guess, big award.
So, it was the 49ers 33. It wasn't that bad. It was 33-19. It wasn't a complete blowout. It was the Ravens and Dolphins 56-19. That was a big one, and then the rest. I don't know. Maybe that was it. But whatever.
The other head coach, right? You said the guy from.
who got that?
The Browns coach, what's his face? But
Okay.
for some reason, I thought, and I could think that's the only one. But I was thinking, I was thinking about the Texans coach was going to get it.
Or
D'Amico Marco.
the
Huh?
Lions coach. The Lions coach wasn't. You don't think that guy? I know he fucked up in the playoffs, but
Probably a finalist too, right? I'm thinking.
I'm sure he was probably a finalist, but I thought it was going to be the Houston because when they came, they always make
that's
one. Like
true.
they look at like the number of wins and like the differential compared to last weekend. I mean last year. So they had a couple wins last year, and then they go like what they have like 10, 11 or something this year.
That's true.
You have a rookie quarterback. Kudos to CJ, whatever. But
Yeah.
I think
Nice
just, the Browns had a lot of injuries, so that came into play. How they just able to keep on winning. The only one that surprises me is the comeback player. To be honest, I just didn't think Flacco played enough games.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's more productive. He did more. I mean, not to knock the guy. I feel bad because people would tell me like, "Oh, you don't feel bad? Yeah, the guy almost died." Like, I get it, but part of coming back is having a comeback season. I'm not saying you have to be the All-Star, Pro Bowl, ball out, but when I'm looking at the guy's stats, I'm like, dude, like you can't just. I guess you get some sympathy points for almost dying. I mean, it was dude. He almost died. I get it, but
Yeah.
Well,
Flacco fucking carried them. He took that team
in
to
the
fucking.
that guy for the White Sox that had cancer. What's his
Hendricks.
closer? Hendricks, right?
Liam Hendricks. Yeah.
He didn't have a great season, but he got the comeback player of the year because he came back from cancer. It's just kind of like a feel-good story. That's why people thought he was gonna get it. Like, man, this guy almost died. He was in the hospital, like all this
If
shit.
they could give it to the white man, they'll give it to the white. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't say that. But more NFL news. They also announced the NFL Hall of Fame inductees, and 3 former Bears were on that list. Steve McMichael,
Wait, hold on.
Devin
Oh,
Hairston. Huh?
I was gonna try to guess.
Ah,
And I'm gonna ask Luis if he had heard.
no, I didn't know who was, I didn't know who
Third
was
one.
on there.
Can I guess the third one? Ryan Urlacher.
nope.
Oh,
He didn't play his entire career as a Bear. I'll tell you that much. That's the
Defense or offense? Defense.
defense.
So Devin Hester. Who's the other guy?
Steve McMichael.
Michael.
Damn, I should just told me I wouldn't have said it. I wouldn't have done. And I didn't know what you're saying because it cut off right there. Your microphone cut off. I didn't know you. If you would have said stop, stop, I would have stopped. I didn't even know.
Defense. Hall of Famer.
He was on the defensive line, right?
He was defensive line. Huh?
Julius Peppers.
It was Peppers.
Oh, shit, Dan.
Ah, man, that's it. Show's over.
That's pretty good.
Quit while you're ahead right there.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna talk anymore.
Yeah, so
any
Mangos.
changes to your Super Bowl picks?
Nah, easy, baby.
All right, Luis, te los aseguro. Stuff to watch for. What you got?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny. I'm a little distracted right now. So this is so stupid. So Super Bowl's in Las Vegas. So tonight, right now it's happening. Teofimo Lopez is fighting Thursday night, a championship fight against this guy Ortiz. And it's only in the 5th round. They got Ortiz up right now. I haven't seen the fight because I'm obviously doing the show. I have it here in the background.
Well,
But they
I
had
told
to
you
move it to
gotta
tonight
stop
because of the
at
fucking Super Bowl.
Oh,
They fucking, when they must have booked this shit, they fucked it all up and they still squeezed it in. So they're fighting tonight. So that kind of blows. But real quick, I'll run through it. We started off kind of bad with boxing. Tyson Fury and Usyk got delayed because Fury got hurt, busted up his eye,
both
but that got rescheduled. And then right now there's talks of Ryan Garcia. Now that he doesn't have an opponent, trying to fight with Haney in April. And if that does come, I think that'll be a really entertaining fight. And I don't want to go off on a tangent right now, but
Do it.
your boy Sal,
Who?
how do you call it? Cinnamon Alvarez is
Oh.
how do you call it? He announced his potential, not him, but his team, that he would
Well, is
fight
it Charlo? Ah, I knew it. I fucking knew
Charlo,
it.
the other brother, and then
Fucking
Crawford
guy.
in the in the later rounds. So
Fucking knew he was gonna fight Charlo. But why do I care? I'm not gonna watch it anymore.
Oh, and Fury took the May 5th spot now.
yeah, they like
Start
rescheduled it, and
boycotting it.
we'll see if that fight happens. It should, but you know, I know he got hurt.
But that's when
Um,
Canelo usually fights too. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had a feeling of like Charlo and then fucking Crawford.
Charlo brothers undefeated. Crawford's undefeated.
so look, this is real quick to finish up. This is what I'll say about Canelo. Canelo, it's really interesting. It makes for interesting conversation, right? Uh, Obviously, I'm a Canelo fan. I do think he's one of the greatest all-time Mexican boxers. I know that we had a whole show about that, and there are people, not only Sal, but there's a lot of people, and people in boxing too, not just like people that watch boxing.
Not just casual.
Yeah, yeah. So, that believe that he's ducking Benavides and that him not fighting Benavides is enough of an argument to, you know, that he can't be considered one of the all-time, greatest Mexican fighters. So there's obviously different school of thoughts on it. I do feel there's two narratives to this that I feel. For the first time, I feel like he is ducking somebody because usually in the past, Canelo has been very responsive when there's an opportunity for a big money fight. And make note, David Benavides cannot carry a pay-per-view to save his life on his own. But if Canelo and Benavides fight, that's gonna be a big fight because of Canelo, right? Um, I think Canelo did this to himself because he moved up in so many weight classes, trying to, he is undisputed, at the weight class at 168. But when he tried to get cute and move up to Bivol, like he was humbled pretty quickly. Like he lost that fight. Like it's not like I don't think Canelo's scared to lose against Benavidez. He's already lost against Mayweather. He lost against Bivol. I think he would lose against David Benavidez. Because not because David Benavidez is a better uh boxer than he is or a complete fighter, but he's younger, bigger, and he is stronger. He couldn't handle Bivol. I can't imagine he could handle Benavidez, who's much more aggressive, than Bivol. Now, with that said, do I think Benavidez would knock out Bivol as easy as he could maybe knock out Canelo? No, I think Bivol would give him a pretty good fight, but that's somebody a little bit more true to his weight, I think. So there's weight classes for a reason, is all I'm trying to say. Even the Crawford fight is a little bit of a circus fight. This guy, it's just like that typical thing. Like it's just like, oh, Crawford is so good. There should be a way that he could beat Canelo, and he might, and he could, but all the odds are against him. He has to move up, I think, 3 weight classes, something crazy like that. Crawford's not a spring chicken. He has, I think
Yeah.
he's like 36 years old now. He has half the mileage than Canelo. Canelo's fought way more rounds than Crawford, even though Canelo's younger. But Canelo has way more mileage. But I don't think Canelo could handle Benavidez at this stage of his career. I do think Canelo should fight Benavidez, like in terms of like his legacy, because at the end of the day, it's like kind of the passing of the torch and go out on your shield. You're either the baddest guy or you're not. Um, but then I sound like a hypocrite because I don't believe just if he passes up on him, that also deletes everything he's done for the last 15 years. Like it's impossible because I don't know anybody else that fought Golovkin 3 times and stood toe to toe with that guy when nobody else wanted to fucking fight him. When no, like Golovkin was the Benavidez when they were both in their prime. Nobody wanted to fight Golovkin. Canelo said, "Let's fucking fight." Now people said, "Oh, he lost that first fight and this and that," but he fought his ass 3 times. I know the last one was kind of maybe a couple years past when it shouldn't. But it's like there's always a new guy. There's always a new young guy. So you can't delete everything he's done. So I don't think as a boxing fan, I would want him to fight Benavidez, win, lose, or draw. I think he would lose, but I don't think that would discount him. If anything, it would just, kind of fit the narrative that he's always just try to fight the best. I think if he doesn't fight him, I think that's a tactful duck for sure. But then I don't think that also means that then he's not, one of the all-time greatest boxers of all time. So I don't know if that makes any sense. It's kind of long.
No, it does. But as far as Golovkin, I get he did fight him, but it's not like he was young either. Like
Mhm.
what was he in the
Yeah, you're right
30s
about
already?
that. Yeah,
so
no, he was in the like.
I don't think he would have fought
Yeah,
a
either.
prime Golovkin either. And
Yeah.
it sucks because he's like, and I always thought that it was in his best interest to fight Benavidez earlier than later. Because
Yeah.
he's gonna enter his prime. He's probably gonna still in his prime when Canelo's boxing body starts declining. So it's like, why wait? Why are you gonna put off? And I just feel like if he doesn't do it next year too, then he's not gonna fight him, because why are you gonna fight him when at the end of your career, when this guy's and who knows, maybe fucking Benavidez next 2 years he gets rocked and he's not whatever, but who knows what happens. But like, I just don't see him. If he's not gonna fight him this year and he doesn't fight him next year, I don't see. I just don't see him fighting him at all. And I get it. He fought, he lost to Mayweather when he was young. He shouldn't have taken the fight, but whatever it is, what it is. And Bivol, he lost. I think I'm gonna sense like he doesn't want to lose. I mean, who does, right? But I think more because like I don't think he wants to add like, I'm like, fuck, I got my 2 losses out. Like I really don't want any more. And this was fault. I think fucking Mayweather and kind of fucking started that trend when they just fucking and he on paper he fucking, but they were like at the end of their career, like Mayweather. That's kind of, we know what he was fucking doing to preserve his perfect record. And now I think everybody that's in that position, they do the same shit. And like, part of it, like I said, we talked about it, but if he does, yes, no, maybe doesn't carry make per views. Like at the same time, like why should you? That shouldn't be the qualifier. If you're the contender, it is what it is. You're like, hey, if the guy's not gonna bring you pay-per-view buys, it is what. So like, like, then what's the point of you, instead of being the number one contender, go some stupid shit on social media and get a huge following, and then give that guy, I mean, just because he's gonna bring more
Yeah.
fucking paper, like it just sucks. So like I think, like I said, it's not that Canelo's like in the perfect world, everybody wants to have a perfect record, and I think he has his 2 losses. I just don't feel like he wants to add more to it. I'm not gonna disqualify him for what he did in the past. I just feel like right now is like I think when like you're the guy and you finally had that stage for like I don't know these last year and you're not doing anything with it now. Like you're not
Yeah.
you find like fucking
Yeah.
last minute bum fights in Jalisco. I'm sorry to say that, but you know what I'm saying? Like fucking guys you never heard of. Like, hey, like, guess what? I'm gonna fight in Jalisco in 2 months. Let's go. I'm like who the fuck are you fighting? Like shit like that. Like what the fuck are you
Yeah.
doing? So this is like your time to shine to prove that you are the
Right.
not only the fucking not the top 10 greatest Mexicans, but put yourself in the top 10 fucking fighters out there. Like
Yeah.
fucking solidify it. But and he got the belt, he got the money, and he's doing the same shit that Mayweather's doing. Like, so that's what like these other fighters. I say it was a different world, but like Mexican fighters and fighters in the past, like they weren't. Hearns was ducking Leonard and fucking Hagglers and
Right.
the Robert
Muhammad
Duran, shit like
Ali
that.
wasn't
Muhammad
ducking
wasn't
anybody.
ducking fucking like
Nobody.
like not
Right.
like no, you don't deserve it.
Tyson didn't duck anybody. It's like
So to me, and I sucks
whoever
because
was the
like I
guy.
said, it's nothing personal. Like I want another fucking all time great to be a Mexican. Like I
Yeah.
that's badass. Another fucking we read off the top 10, 15 fighters of all time. You want as many fucking Mexicans to be on that fucking list, But I said when the time since we became the champion, mine is Golovkin. I said, he was older, but whatever. But other than that, like, and then they could have gone either way or whatever. We're not gonna discuss that. But other than that, it's like he's fighting like if he's not ducking Benavides, he's fighting bums.
Mhm.
Last minute fucking fights. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
And Dan, real quick before you cut in, so I agree with you, Sal. But the couple, and it's just so hard to ignore. Like nobody has done undisputed, you know what I mean, super middleweight where he's at. It's never been done before. So he did it. He fought the guys that he needed to fight to win those belts. Those guys were, a lot of them were undefeated. Um, I hope as a boxing fan that he beats Benavides. This is what I'll say to wrap up on him before we go to Adan is I hope I think if I'm remembering this right, I think he has a 3-fight deal. So obviously, he's gonna try to fight Charlo and then Crawford. And if I think in his head, if he wins those 2 fights, then I don't think it'll be crazy that the third fight would be against Benavides. But a lot of it is timing. Like he's fighting Crawford because Crawford's coming off a really big win. If Crawford didn't come off such a convincing win, like people would be like, "What are you doing, picking on a smaller guy?" But Crawford right now is so invincible, So that's why I was saying I know that Benavides wants to fight Canelo. Like, man, you got to fight somebody like because if he goes in there and fights Benavides and wins a sloppy, a split decision, I don't know if people will give him a lot of credit. To be honest with you, they'll be like, "Oh, Benavides is still pretty young," or people will be like, the haters will be like, "Who has Benavides beaten?" Like that was the first time he was in there with like a legit, you know what I mean, superstar. Like everybody he's destroyed, like nobody's um he hasn't gone like there's nobody to the pedigree of Canelo. So um it, I don't think there's anything wrong with Benavides getting in there and knocking out somebody like a common opponent that Canelo maybe couldn't knock out. And then now it's in the prime to like, all right, let let's let's both of us fight. So now if I beat Benavides, now I'm the greatest, of all time or something like that. So anyway, that was what I was thinking that they were thinking.
I think you guys said it perfectly. The only thing I'll add is I don't think that he's Ryder was a bum, but I don't think Canelo's fighting bums, and those 2 guys, Charlo and Crawford, are not bums. Sal, I know the big game is the Super Bowl. You got any advice for Lauro, Gerardo, and Jose? Or
I had lots of. It was supposed to be a Super Bowl episode, I thought, but I had no Super Bowl, no Super Bowl at all. Now I'm still going. I'm gonna be honest. I'm still on the fence about who I'm gonna go with. I did say I was leaning with San Francisco, but it's not a sure thing yet. I just at the end of the day, it's Purdy versus Mahomes, and I think the 49ers are a better team, but Mahomes he got the experience, and I don't know, it's just there's so much to go into. But I had a few prop bets. I think I shared one with you earlier. It's not as good now. The ad probably went down, but what I was looking is that the Chiefs and 49ers both have one rushing touchdown. I got it like a plus 100, 200. It was like plus 130 now. There's another one, Mahomes over 4.5 rushing yards. I like that one. It was minus 130. These are not sexy, but I'm gonna parlay some of these. I think Purdy might have an interception, so I was thinking about doing a over on the 0.5 interceptions. What else was I looking at? I think Snead is a hell of a defensive player. I think Ayuk is going to be held under 60, 1.5 receiving yards. McCaffrey, you count on him for any time touchdown scorer. What else did I have? I had a couple other ones, but both teams can play for at least 20 points. That's another one. How much was that one? I think that was. Gee, I thought I had it here. What did I write this down? Of course, when I had that one.
Do you like the ones where like
Oh, minus 105. So
the ones first to score like a player, like depending who
I
gets
do
the
it for
ball?
fun. There's no way to fucking figure out who. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just fun. It's for. But
I've never won one of those.
I won a couple. I lost more. I definitely lost more than I ever.
You showed us some of the ones that you won. It's crazy. Like
Oh, the ones that did, yeah.
show us the ones. Yeah, like you pick the next score is gonna be pass or a rushing or something. You get it right.
Yeah, those are fun. Yeah, those are fun. But those are the ones I have right now. I'll do a nice little parlay going into it. Again, I just can't pick it. It's hard. It's hard to pick. Like I just don't think Mahomes has the weapons that 49ers has, but it is Mahomes.
This guy
some of the bench
on TV today said that McCaffrey is going to break the record for most receiving yards by a running back, and the record 110 yards by James White from the Patriots when they came back against the Falcons in 2017. 10 receiving yards. I don't know.
That's possible, but it was what was the matchup I was looking at? I mean, they're both good, solid defensive units. 49ers just can't make just. I think the 49ers can play. Just don't do like Baltimore, just stupid mistake. If they don't do stupid, I mean, penalty is part of the game, but if you don't do stupid shit like taunting or roughing the passer, like fucking taking a couple steps after he throws in and leading with them, stuff like that. Just don't give Mahomes extra time, extra possessions. Don't extend their drives on stupid plays. Let them earn it. Let them get through it. I think 49ers will win. I also think that with McCaffrey and the weapons they have, if they play smart, stick to what they know, not to get too cute, they could control the time of possession. So that's kind of the one of the reasons that they could control the time of possession. I think they could pull it off, but I'll let you know. Like me, last minute pick.
Yeah, but I mean, both teams have players that I know Mahomes and Kelsey are experienced, but a lot of times it comes to which players the moment is just too big for them. And you got
that's the thing. You're right. That's what I.
Both of them, right? Purdy, like you never know. I think Purdy has been, decent in the playoffs. I'm thinking he's ready for a breakout game, but you just never know which players are gonna. They're just not gonna show up because the pressure.
Yeah, exactly. So that's exactly what I was thinking the same thing. Like, 49ers, like I said, I see they have the weapons. They do what they're doing. If they can control the clock, they can. But like I said, it's pretty far. Are the lights too bright for him? he's only gone as far against the Eagles, but he got hurt against the Eagles last year. So and Mahomes is probably not going to make those mistakes, So,
But if they, well, we'll see, right? If they just double team Kelsey, can the other guys do anything?
Step up. I know we're gonna wrap up here, guys. How do you call it? So just, I'm picking Kansas City to win. So if they win, I don't know how many championships that is for Mahomes in like the first, I don't know how many, 3 and 5 years. Yeah. So, very early on in his career, let's say, he does win. Um, would that start trending for him, getting consideration, being one of the all-time greatest quarterbacks? Because I don't know how many guys in their first 5 years would
None.
win 3 times. None. What do you guys think?
I definitely think he's definitely on the path.
Mhm.
Tom Brady, did they win as soon as he became a starter? I think they did win
Not his first year that he had to
out of
go
4.
in there, they won.
I could be wrong, but I don't think.
Yeah, he did.
But I think the talk's already there. Even if he wins, even more. But you guys have heard it, right? The talk of whether he the way he's starting his season, not just with the getting to the Super Bowl 4 of his first 5 years, but just the numbers that he's putting up are way better than what Tom Brady was putting up when he was just a game manager, right? When he took over for Bledsoe. And once he got some weapons, especially with Randy Moss, confidence, he started putting up some.
Yeah.
But Mahomes has been putting up numbers and getting to the championship. So the talk is there about him being the GOAT already. He's got so much more to go.
Yeah,
He definitely got a good start. He got a nice head start to it. So, if he continue to be doing, you can't really. It's hard to make an argument against the guy, But
And his only 2 losses though, right? They're both against Tom Brady.
He's got 3, 2 against Tom Brady and 1 against Joe Burrow.
Oh shit.
yeah, when it was AFC Championship.
Okay.
Make the Super Bowl when Joe
Sure.
Burrow, who the bookie selected as a.
My underdog plus 2,000. They were one fucking play away.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right, so
All right, that's it. Let's wrap it up. Upon further review, another side show, fellas. That's again. I think I'm gonna be in a little hiatus for the next 2 weeks. So I think Adan Luis, you're gonna carry the torch. You guys have time, and I'll see you guys back in March, maybe sooner. We'll see. But till then, good night.
I think Lopez is losing this fight.
Ooh, let me tune in right now.
Teofimo Lopez. He should have won this fight.
we're gonna watch the fight. See you, everybody.
All right.
Upon further review, the ruling on the field stands. This is the greatest sports podcast, First and Goat.